Hello everyone and welcome to another Wet Wet Wednesday video. So for today's video we're going to be doing our 5th Easter project and we're going to be using materials from the Simon Says stamp kit from March. I got it in the mail over the weekend. I was super excited to start playing with it. So we're going to be using the stamps as well as the cardstock and the pattern paper. The only thing that is not included in the kit is ink and adhesive, as well as the corner chomper that I will be using, but that will be a little later. So we're going to go ahead and stamp out one of our Easter peeps. And this piece of paper is 5.5 by 3.5 inches. And it's going to be going on a standard A2 size card. And I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I will be doing a little bit of coloring on this. I would say that you do probably want to use a Copic type paper, but I didn't want, I wanted to just use some standard paper because I knew I wouldn't be doing a lot of heavy coloring. So this is what I happen to have nearby, so that's what I grabbed. So I've got my stamp here on my block, and I'm just going to line up this line with the grid line on my mat so that I have him centered. And then I'm just going to give that a second to kind of soak into the paper a little bit. Okay. And then I've already cut out my mask on just some regular Post-it. And I'm just going to line it up as best I can. And then I'm going to be stamping 2 more bunnies, one on either side. So again, just make sure my square is square or my shape is even. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll give them a quick little color. I'm not too worried if they're a little high or a little low because they are in the background, so that'll just give it a little more depth. Okay. Now we're going to peel up our mask, and I'm going to set that aside because I do want to save it. So there we have our little peeps. They are a little bit smudgy, but that's okay. I think it just gives them a little more character. I'm going to clean off my stamp here just so I don't accidentally mess up my work, right? Okay, so I'm just taking some random colors. I'm thinking I am going to be trying, or not random colors, I shouldn't say. I am going to be pulling random shades of colors, but I am going to be taking them from this cardstock. So we've got yellows, greens, blues, and pinks. Excuse me. So I think I'm just going to go with the yellow, the green, and the blue, I think. So I'm just going to get kind of a pale colors here, so I'm gonna pick those out and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our colors, and I'm just gonna go with Y02. Oh, let me zoom in so you can actually see. So Y02, G00, and B00 for my peeps. And we're gonna start with the Y0. Actually, we're gonna start with the outside edges. So we're gonna do G00, and I'm just doing it just to give it a little bit of color so that I want them to stand out against the white, but I don't want them to be standing out over each other, if that makes sense. So no real shading going on here. I will go back over and color in the areas that do need to be a little bit darker. But I've kind of picked some pastel-y shades, or what I feel are pastel shades of these colors. And normally when I excuse me, seem to be catching something. Normally when I pick my colors, I usually do the coloring first and then just go for whatever paper pad I like that will go with the image. It's not very often that I pick colors from my paper pad, so it's a little different for me. I'm going to go ahead and go in here with the yellow. Now, I personally cannot stand the taste of Peeps. It's way too much sugar. Way too much sugar. My kids love them. My husband loves them. They actually have Peep battles. They stick them in the microwave and give them toothpicks. And, of course, you know, turn on the microwave and wait for them to blow up and pop each other, and the kids think it's awesome. They can't wait to do it every year. Okay. Just gonna go back over the dark areas. Now, my Memento is bleeding, but I think that that has more to do with the paper that I'm using and not the ink itself. Just so you guys are aware. I think it's just the paper, because it's not a Copic paper, so... But I could be wrong. There could just be something with the ink. I don't know. So there's our little Peeps. No faces for them at the moment, because I haven't decided if I want them to have faces. But I am going to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment, which is also from that stamp set. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom out, sorry. I'm just lining it up here on my grid mat, and then I will line it up on my block as well. And again, stamp that with Memento ink. And stamp that off onto some scratch because it's the first time I'm using, and you always want to stamp it off, not on your project, obviously. When it's a new stamp, just to ensure that there's nothing on it or that you get good coverage, because sometimes they have a little residue. Stamp that down. I don't think that was as straight as I wanted, but that's okay. There we go. It's also a little lower than I originally wanted, but I like it. Okay. So I think we will give them faces. And I have different faces here in the stamp set. So this is the stamp set from Simon Says. So I think they'll each get a different face. I'll do one that's winking. Shifted a little on me. That's okay. Still gonna be a fun little stamp to image. I'll do one that's got closed eyes. And then last, we'll do the one that's got kind of a surprise look on their face. Oops. It would also help if I take my previous stamp off. Okay, so there's our panel. I'm going to clear up my area here just a second. Okay, now we're just going to take the my 3/8 corner chomper here, and we're going to round the corners. There we go. we're also going to take some clear Wink of Stella, because these are peeps after all. All the glitter is at one end. Now we're going to coat these things in sugary looking goodness. You can do this with colored Wink of Stella if you want. You certainly don't have to use just clear, but I didn't want to take away from the coloring of the images. And I think my Wink of Stella is running out a bit. Might be time to get a new one. Oops. Or I just had a little backlog. That's fine too. You could also use glitter here if you wanted. I don't have any glitter, so I'm not using it, or at least not fine glitter. I would use fine glitter. I'll hold this up here in just a minute so you can see. These are really, really sparkly now. I squeezed my barrel to get a little more out. So now these have got a really nice sugary looking shimmer to them. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you might be able to there. So just really, really shimmery. So we're gonna set that aside just to give that a moment to dry, since it is wet. And I've got just a standard A2 size card here, top folding card from the Simon Says, the cardstock in the Simon Says stamp kit, as well as some pattern paper. Let me see if I can find who it's from. It comes in the kit. So I believe this is from the My Kind of Peep. Oh no, sorry, that's the die that comes in the thing. So this is from Cartabella 6x6 paper pad, spring paper pad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this down. This is the same size as our card base, so it'll cover the entire card front. Some of my adhesive is overhanging, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Okay. And then I'm just going to stand the card up, kind of line up the edges. Stick it down. I also use the same corner rounder for this card as well. So now we're just going to take our Peeps panel here and glue it down as well. Very sticky. I thought about popping it up, but decided not to, so. And then we're just going to center that. Okay. And then for the inside, I haven't decided if I want to do, without you, I'd be off the peep end, or if I just want to stamp Happy Easter. I think we'll do without you. I think that'll be cute. So again, I'm just going to line that up here on my mat. And then I'm just gonna put it on my block. I wanted a smaller block, but I know it's relatively straight. And then again, just want to stamp that off, make sure it's good to go, make sure my paper is straight. Give that a second. There we go. It's a little crooked, but again, I'm okay with that. I gotta relax the OCD part of my crafting side, right? And then I think as a fun added touch, we're gonna go ahead and do just a little bit of the sequins on here. This also comes in the kit, and I think it's really pretty. And I don't very often stick sequins on my cards. But it comes in a bunch of different sizes, so I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it on and see where I like it to land, or if it lands where I'd like it. And a few of them, maybe not so much. It's usually how I do stuff like this. Of course, I think I've also just now made a really big mess. Okay. It was very staticky. No real rhyme or reason here, but I think I like that. Put a small one back there. That one was broken. I'm going to play around with this. I'll be right back. Okay, left it as is. Couldn't decide. Now I've got this little mark on there. Oh, that's helpful. So that's today's card, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye.